my God. So you are a star and I'm talking to you. I am half done in my career. I have heard so much about you. I discovered you accidentally, Ishan, but it's an honor being here face to face in the virtual world and talking to you about all your experiences. I have never worked with an intern who has not just come running to me, raving about how great your channel is. I think you're that hope in the pandemic, that ray of hope for all the people who are just starting out or people who are 18, 19, or in that TG or target audience, and they love you. I've never seen such a loyal audience. When I talk to people who are your fans, they're just like, oh my God, he is the Ishan. So how does it feel to be the Ishan? And welcome, welcome, welcome. Just give your 1 minute introduction, then tell us how is your life behind this podcasting mic.
Sure. Thank you so much, Unnati, for inviting me over here. Hi, everyone. I'm Ishan Sharma. I am currently 20 years old. I am a college student. I'm learning electrical engineering at BITS Goa campus. And I also like to freelance with clients. I am also working on a few of my hobbies. Like I love playing, tennis and badminton. And I'm also into reading books. I love doing that. And that is basically like a 1 minute introduction of what I do.
Oh, wow. You have been really humble, but I have seen the numbers and I've seen things working for you. So amazing work. You're a 20-year-old doing so much. I'm not even sure what I was doing when I was 20. So great, great work. I'm so happy that the pandemic happened and more people discovered people like you. So yeah. Uh, with that, do you think pandemic was a blessing in disguise for you?
Pandemic indeed was really important for me. It helped me get a lot of free time so that I could focus a lot more on building my YouTube channel and just working on my own craft. Right. Previously, I was having my college routine, and that was basically like get up in the morning at about 7 o'clock, go for classes, get back at about 4 o'clock. Uh, you know, pass some time and then have dinner by 7 or 8 and then go to sleep. That was basically the whole routine. And once I got to home, once lockdown started, I was just having so much free time, so I started putting that time into learning as much as possible. I just got myself like a bunch of courses and I started learning, and that was like the best thing that has ever happened to me. Obviously it has been really bad for some people. I'm
Yeah,
totally aware of that.
I understand. How much have you grown during the pandemic?
I have learned video editing. As a matter of fact, I will tell you this. When I first put out my podcast, the first episode was 2 minutes long. And to record it, to edit it, and to put it out, it took me 5 hours. 5 hours worth of time. And right now, in about 5 hours, I make the complete 20, 30 minute video and I edit it and I put it out there. So the growth has been really amazing. I've learned to market myself. I've learned graphic design. I've learned video editing. I've learned a lot of different things. I've learned how to feel normal and feel satisfied in being alone. I think that's one of the really important things that lockdown has taught me. Not having continuous contact with friends, right? How can I deal in that situation? How can I stay productive in that time? That is what I think lockdown has taught me.
Amazing, amazing. So I'm so excited to ask you a 30 questions for the series 30 under 30. So 30 minutes, 30 questions, and I get all your secrets out. That's my job. So are you ready?
Sure, let's do it.
Great. What makes you Ishan?
What makes me Ishan is the courage to keep going even when people look upon you and look down and say कि ये क्या कर रहे हो, ये थोड़ी करना चाहिए, and all sorts of those things. And I also love doing things that make me fearful at some point, like speaking in front of an audience, or building that next big website. I'm into coding as well. So I think that is what makes me as a person, like makes me Ishan. Just love tackling challenging things.
Are you an introvert?
Not exactly. I would be like a ambivert, I would say. I used to be an introvert, but then college opened me a lot. So I decided that every single day I will get to meet at least one new person in my college and I will just talk to them and I will just introduce myself to them. And that sort of really helped me out because at the end of the complete semester, I was able to make 10 to 15 really good friends. And that is basically all that you really need in your complete college life. So yeah, I mean, that is what I would say.
Wow, you're the first person who said something good about colleges. So you at least use them for networking. Great.
Yes.
Do you have a mentor?
I do not have a. Basically, I think that the mentor, as a definition, is just someone who you talk to every single day. They delegate time especially for you, and that is not the case for me. I have a lot of seniors who inspire me a lot, like Curious Harish and Mehul Mohan from Kodam. Then, of course, I look up to people like Naval Ravikant and Chamat Palipitya, and there are just these people who I like to consume a lot of their content, and I learn a lot from them. Like as we were talking previously, Ali Abdal has been a great motivator for me to start my own YouTube channel, as well as Amand Agarwal. Right, these few people are the ones that I used to consume lot of their content of on YouTube.
Got it. So you're a YouTuber. Do you think YouTube still holds to the quality, or is there a thread that Instagram will start monetizing Reels? So people are saying that YouTube might get replaced by Reels or something like that. Do you think any of this is true, or YouTube will always have its soul intact, which is long form content? Like,
I
what?
think that
Yeah,
I think that the one good thing that YouTube has done is the fact that it enables you to create a stream of income for the long term, right? So it's like you make a video right now, like for example, a video that I made with my sister talking about how she started freelancing. It's been a year, and that video still gets me about 5-6 thousand views every single day, right? And that means that it's getting me that revenue as well. So for the creators, I think YouTube is the big platform to be on. Of course, there are some great opportunities available on Snapchat as well as on Instagram with Reels. There is a lot of potential, but the deeper connection that the audience gets to form with people on YouTube, watching their YouTube videos, I think that cannot be replaced, at least yet. Uh, it is like a funnel, right? So people, creators who are aware about these opportunities, they first of all start creating content on TikTok and Instagram, and then that slowly gets them into the next funnel, which is their YouTube, and from there it goes on to their live streams, and then it sort of gets to other sources. So that is basically how that goes.
got it. And so, how do you strike this work life balance? Because you're apparently doing so much, you've learned so much, you're implementing so much. What makes you strike that balance? Because at the end of the day, you need to rest your mind, which is working so much. So, how do you balance? Do you exercise? Do you meditate? What is it? What's the secret source of keeping you going?
What keeps me going? I think I love consuming really informative content. So I just love listening to a lot of podcasts. I love reading a lot of books. In fact, right now I was listening to Yuval Noah Harari's *Sapiens* for the third time. I have reread, I have made notes, and I just love that book. I've learned so much about our history as Homo sapiens. But more importantly, I just think that what keeps me going is just a desire to become better every single day, right? I think that is the most important thing, however cliched it might sound, but that is basically what it is.
Wow, great. So, but don't you think that's also kind of working because you're reading non-fictional
Yeah,
and your brain is again constantly thinking about some way or the other in terms of content, in terms of understanding or dissecting the history. How do you break free from all of it?
how do I break free from what exactly?
The whole working thing, the Ishan always in the work mode, except sleeping, how do you literally stop your mind to think about something which you are learning, which you're being productive about? Is it gymming? Is it anything probably? Like, is there a time when you just feel ki bus up sab band and this is my vacation time or this is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
hours which is
after
me time?
after 8 o'clock I just go on for a long walk, and I'm just out there for 1 hour. My current apartment is around a lot of hills, and this like
Wow.
nature all around. So it just feels really serendipitous, and so I just love going around and just like going on for a long walk, right? So I go on for like 1 hour, 2 hours, just listening to some background sound, or I just listen to some podcast, and I just consume everything. I try to reflect a lot. So in the mornings or in the noon, I just love reading books, listening to podcasts, and then in the night time is when I try to reflect as much as possible. Okay, I learned about that thing. How does that relate to my situation right now, and how can I improve this particular situation? So that is sort of how I feel about these.
Got it. Great. So, what's your routine?
My routine, there is no routine that I have right now.
Oh,
It's all over the place. I know I need to have a routine. I get up at about 9 o'clock these days. I don't know why that is the case. I think that lockdown is a big reason for that. Previously, I used to follow the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, and I used to get up very much early in the morning. I used to sleep early, and that was the main routine that everyone strives for. But of course, that was not sustainable for me. I want to get back, but that is sort of how it is looking like right now. In the morning time, I basically am recording or editing a video. As I said, in the noon, I like to listen to podcasts, read some books, watch some videos, and then I think that evening is more for I have been teaching an academy, so I teach students programming. So over there, I spend about 1 or 2 hours teaching them every single day, and after that, I just go out for a long walk, and that is sort of my day.
Got it. What's your 3, 5, or 7 years plan? Like, where do you see Ishan 7 years down the line or something?
I don't know. I don't really have an idea of where I'll end up for a really longer time frame, but I really want to be in a place where I'm challenging myself, and I just want to take as many risks as possible, right? Like, this is something that Gary Vaynerchuk has said, and it is so true. I just want to take as many risks early on so that I get to experience everything that I wanted to, right?
Wow, wow.
So as a kid, I always had some of the dreams that I wanted to do. So I just want to do all of those things.
That's so nice. I am so fed up of talking to people who just want to do पहले 3 साल job and
Yeah.
then something क्योंकि risk के लिए backup चाहिए. But I'm so
वो कभी खत्म नहीं होता.
yeah,
Once you start into the corporate ladder and in the corporate world, it is very difficult to break out, especially if you're a software engineer and you're working at the top tech companies. They will try their best to reserve their talent, right? They'll
absolutely.
give you free food, they'll give you everything is free. You just come here and you can do whatever you want to. So I think that is something that is very much difficult to break loose. But yeah, I just want to experience different situations, right? Like starting a YouTube channel, building this agency that I'm working on right now, working with clients, and that is sort of what I want to do right now.
Got it. What has been your teacher? Who has been your teacher? Is it your clients? Is it your peers? Is it your people, mentors whom you follow? Is it your work? What has taught you more than anything? For me, it has been my entire journey of freelancing because now I know what it takes from the start to build something. So that has been my biggest thing. Now, when a client comes to me and tries to negotiate, I know that's not the last fish in the pond,
Hmm.
and that cannot snatch my mental health at the cost of 50, 60, 70,000 rupees. So I'd rather find somebody else whose energy matches with me. So that has been my biggest teacher because I've been that low and I have made it till here. What has been your biggest teacher?
I think definitely working with clients has been important for me, but to really structure my learnings into like let's say 10 to 15 pages, I think that has to be Naval Ravikant's Twitter thread on like how to get rich without getting lucky. I think that is one of the most important pieces of content that I've ever consumed. If you really reflect upon every single tweet that he has put out in that thread, you will get to learn a lot about how life really works. How does the world really work? How can you really create wealth for you as well as for the people that you work with? So I think that has been a really big teacher for me.
Wow, amazing. I am going to read that thread. I've never consumed, although I consume his tweets, but I've
Yeah,
never consumed that thread.
it is
Uh,
really amazing.
wow. Okay. What are the 5 apps that are on your phone that you use daily?
Okay, one is Notion. I just love writing whatever I feel like on Notion. Second would have to be my investment apps. So I use like WazirX or other ones, right? I use Smallcase, use Zerodha, InMoney. That is like the investment apps. Then I like to use Canva. I think Canva has been a huge time saver for everyone around, and so that is basically the tool that helped me start my whole content creation journey. And then I think the fourth one would have to be my Google Calendar. I think it is very simple, but it is a really effective tool. And if you can understand how to basically schedule everything out, you'll get so many things done. You won't even imagine how much can you achieve in 1 week or 1 month's time. So yeah, I think those will be the more important apps that I like to use every single day. Habitica is also really important. Habitica helps me to schedule all of the things, and it has gamified my experience of getting things done. So it's like a game that is inbuilt, and you whenever you say okay, this task is done, that is how your particular character progresses in that particular game. So it is a really interesting application.
Great. What's one tech device that you're like, oh my God, I can't live without it? For me, it's my phone. That I've invested heavily in, and now I
Yeah.
feel very proud of it because it just gives me the kind of ecosystem that it just syncs with my Mac, and then everything happens. And till the time I was using OnePlus something something, my friends were always like, "No, you'll build this Apple ecosystem," and everybody on the other side was like, "No, it's overrated." But for me, it's not overrated. It has made my life so simple. Leave something here. I'm typing something here. I leave it. I can see it on my Mac sometimes, and on some apps, and it's just so much fun. So what's one thing that you feel, अरे यार इसमें invest कर दे, it's so amazing?
I think that my MacBook has been the most important tech that I use every single day. The only reason is because it's just so easy to use, and it increases my productivity like hundredfold. I think it just has some great features that I use every single day, and that really helps me out. So yeah, that would be the really important thing. This has really been helpful for me as well.
Okay,
The
so what
mic,
is this like, what's the model and what's everything, because I'm pretty sure a lot of us are curious.
the
Uh,
mic.
yeah, which one is this?
This is the Blue Yeti mic. This is the one that everyone really uses. I was having a Miono mic as well previously. That was like a cheaper version, but I just thought of investing into a better one just because everyone was doing it and it was something that everyone had some great reviews about. So I just got this and it's just been a really great investment for me. So yeah, I think that this chair has been really amazing for me as well.
Wow, it's your gaming chair.
Yeah, I don't play games though, but I really enjoy sitting on it and it really helps me out. I used to have a simple dinner chair and I used to sit on that, but I changed and I invested into this one. It has been really helpful for me.
Wow, amazing. All right, so what's your take on internships, freelancing, and startups?
Internships, I think it's an amazing way for you to learn about things, right? I would really encourage everyone to get an internship in the first year of college itself and just learn things. First of all, learn the thing and then get an internship. Don't just say कि ठीक है मैं internship करना सीख लूंगा. That never really works out, and you might even get played by the people saying कि okay you can do it for free because you'll get to learn things on an internship. That is just bullshit. Uh, learn a skill and then get an internship, or even better, when you do get the internship, keep an eye out for freelance clients, and once you get them then just stay with them. That is like the better way to go about it. And then startups, I think that is the best way for you to try out and try to solve different problems that the world is facing right now and just find your own ikigai, right?
Wow.
So
Yeah.
have you read that book?
Yes. I
That
have
book is
an
amazing.
audiobook for that.
Yeah.
All right. So what qualities do you think a content creator must possess?
I think that authenticity is really important. Whenever you are working and whenever you are talking about your own life or you're sharing something in a video, if you're not authentic, if you are not equal to the person that you would meet me whenever if you were to come at my house, and if you were to talk to me in person, वो difference नहीं होना चाहिए कुछ भी. And if that is not there, then I think audience will be able to will be able to connect with you a lot better. So I think that is really really important.
Do you think that's why these vloggers are doing much better? Because people, whatever they're seeing their life on daily vlogs is what they are
Yeah.
actually as well.
I think people are also interested into learning about other people's lives कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, वो कहाँ गए आज, क्या किया.
Yeah, it's altogether a cult.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my god, ये इसके साथ ये हो गया नहीं अंदर.
And then the gossips that start, like it is the reason that we as Homo sapiens develop this language that we communicate in. A lot of us like to like gossip about things, talk about things कि क्या चल रहा है, वो क्या कर रहा है, वो क्या कर रहे हैं.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So you have two options, consistency or powerful content. What will you choose?
Consistency, I would say.
Wow, you're
If you
the
want
third
to,
person in the row who has selected that. But why so?
even if you don't know what is powerful content, right? And when you put in the time to just record, like let's say 100 videos, you'll get some sort of data कि ठीक है, 3 videos worked, 97 was not working, so I need to focus on these 3 videos. But then you also need to focus on, is the content really valuable in that 97 videos that you delivered? Because I know videos that I've recorded that have close to zero value and they've gotten like hundreds of thousands of views, and I have a video that I pour my heart and soul into it, and I think it was the most important video for everyone to consume, but they just did not, because that is how YouTube works, right? The minute you try to get into more details of how something works, and the minute the video exceeds 10, 20, 30-minute mark, everyone goes off. So that is sort of the bad part about social media, I think.
Okay. So what makes you consistent?
What makes me consistent? I just want to find out what is it that people really want. And also, I think that because I love doing things, I love recording a video, I love talking, I love improving my communication skills. That is the most important reason why I started my own YouTube channel. That really helps me to start on this journey and stay consistent with making videos every single day. Right. So, and also having parents that support me. I think that is the most important thing that anyone can get. The support of parents can be huge for you.
Well, I did not have that as a question, but here's a question. How has your family or your surroundings or your friends have helped you to reach where you are today? Given that a lot of times people around us are reluctant to this kind of future that we are building, freelancers, content creators. So how
I
has
think
everybody around you helped? Yeah.
I think I certainly was able to find out the real friends and the friends for the sake of it. That was a really great experience. And then I just think that my parents were really supportive in this whole experience. They just say कि ठीक है मतलब बस pass हो जाओ college में fail मत होना, and that is pretty much all that we want from you.
Yeah.
And we know that you're doing well, so you can continue on your journey. So I think that has been really, really helpful for me, just knowing that they care about what I'm producing, and they themselves are content creators on Instagram as well as on YouTube. And my sister obviously creates content on YouTube. So I think we have this idea of like making content, providing value. So that has been like the constant in my home.
I can totally imagine someday opening to you opening YouTube and seeing two people just saying, "Hi, we are Ishan's parents, so we have also started our YouTube channel because both of our kids were doing that." So yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a good influence on parents as well. Like I just want, so there are so many times I am seeing all these YouTubers doing great food content, and I'm like, my mom, why don't you do it? Like your daughter is a marketer. Please leverage ghar ke liye ki dal barabar, but
Right.
she doesn't, and I hope someday she does. But yeah, okay. So you have current set of clients and everything. So there's this thing when I started creating content on Instagram and LinkedIn. To a certain time, I was doing it like, oh my god, it's my thing, and then we start getting clients, and it's just diluted because I have to concentrate on both. From one, I'm getting that kick or maybe that money, or I'm just satisfying my bigger goal, and from the other place, I'm getting money and probably a great portfolio. How do you decide how to prioritize?
So you're talking about content creation and working with
Yes.
clients.
Yes.
Which one to prioritize? I think for me, I think about what would be more impactful, right? Like working with a client, I will definitely get the money. But then if I were to make a video that would be able to help 10,000 people who would be watching my content, I think that would be better for me. That is the reason that I focus more on my YouTube channel than I do on my Market Up content creation agency. I do think that in the future it will change, but for now that is basically what I feel, just because of the emails that I get, right? So I get an email saying that hey bhaiya, thank you so much for helping me out. I started my own content creation, or I started my own freelancing journey. I got my first client on Fiverr. And that experience, seeing that you've helped someone get their first client or get their first amount of money in their life, that is completely on another level. That is what gives me like real motivation to keep going and make these pieces of content.
Wow. So we'll cut it here. There's some problem with my sunlight. I'm not sure why it's coming. Can you see a goal sa bubble beach mein?
Abhi nahi hai.
Is this fine?
This is fine.
I'll just note down the timestamp. Okay. Okay. So we're starting again, huh? Starting in the next question. So I'll tell the team to cut it over here. What's the best email that you've got from somebody? For me, it was when I was teaching people how to freelance, and there's this lady who got back to me and said, I've earned my first 320 rupees out of an article, and I've treated my son with a pizza, and it's the first pizza of his life. I think I cried that time for the first time for somebody else's emotions. That,
Yeah.
okay, so for me, it was just a 500 rupees course that I sold, and then somebody bought it. earned 350 or 320 or whatever, and and they're so happy about it. So it just made me push for the right things. So what's your thing?
I think it was the same. Like I just get these emails from people saying that I started my own content creation journey. I started my own Fiverr account. I got my first client, and I think that is the really important thing that keeps me going. So yeah, I think that is what would be that. And I think that the people that I work with in my own content creation agency, the first time that I paid them, they were basically like, this is the first time I've ever earned in my life, right? So just having
Wow.
that sense, that feeling that I am able to empower so many people. And then on the other hand, my college administration wants me to pay 70,000 rupees to go work at an unpaid internship. That is the spectrum that we are in, right? So my college friends are working over there, and I'm working over here helping other people out as well as creating wealth for myself. So I think that has been the really interesting part of my life.
Wow, it just seems so much deeper than what we see in front of YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Ishan creating great videos. He's 20-year-old and everything. And then at the back end, there's so much more happening. So that's great. Have you ever tried leveraging LinkedIn to its full capacity? Or what do you think about LinkedIn in general?
I made a book on LinkedIn actually.
Wow.
A year ago, I released my own book called as Crush It on LinkedIn, inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. His own book, Crushing It and Crush It. And that was a place where I instilled everything that I have learned about this platform. I have gotten all of my main clients on LinkedIn, right? They reached out to me. I got the opportunity to work at an academy because they reached out to me on LinkedIn. Uh,
Wow.
and that has been like a really good experience for me. I think LinkedIn has been a game changer, and that's why I wanted to just put everything that I've learned in just one place for them to understand how does this whole system really work, right? Like how to post content on LinkedIn, how to optimize your profile on LinkedIn, how to get discovered by recruiters on LinkedIn. So just these things, either I myself have learned them or I have interviewed people that have shared their experiences on my own podcast. So from that I got to learn a lot. So yeah.
My God. So it's a must have book. Do you think this book is suitable for freelancers or just job seekers?
I think it would be suitable for anyone who wants to build their brand or get opportunities. I talk about how to DM people, how to get responses, all sorts of things are there. It's like the complete guide for LinkedIn. It's like a 70-80 page handbook. It's very much concise to the point. I'm not talking about some random stories. Ye hua, fir ye hua, moral of the story, ye hua. Coming
Yeah,
to the point, and this is what you need to do.
got it. So, with this whole LinkedIn ebook that you have written, what it's an ebook, right?
It is an ebook. It's available for paperback as well on Amazon and Flipkart.
I am just Googling that right now. So, Ishan, what do you think is the one most underrated feature of LinkedIn then?
I think that people are not creating enough content on LinkedIn that adds value to people, right? Like I know I started 1 year ago and उस टाइम पे कोई create कर ही नहीं रहा था content. Right now a lot of people are creating, but जो उनका content होता है वो काफी अजीब सा लगता है. Some of them think it's like Facebook, तो वो कुछ भी random सा good morning का message दिखा था मैंने एक दिन randomly, and फिर मैंने पूरे दिन LinkedIn खोला ही नहीं, फिर उसके बाद से खराब हो गया मेरा दिमाग. तो that was one thing. After that I think people are just like creating simple like normal motivation type content, and then there are these people that are actually putting out really informative pieces of posts on LinkedIn. So there's a friend of mine, Shreyas, and he actually does like a breakdown of what is it that these startups are doing right now and why are they doing it and what is their motive behind and how can that impact our country. So I think that is something that is really interesting, and then people are just trying to make it the next Facebook or Instagram or something. So that's also
See,
interesting.
what Shreyas is doing and what people of that likes are doing, it is a lot of research.
Hmm.
And right now, LinkedIn has just become a lead generation machine for content writers and everybody. So they're just putting the top level content that is
Yeah.
available anywhere. It's not deep, it's
Hmm.
not well researched. A lot of them are doing it. And I think that's where the crux of the or that's why Twitter has this hate thing about LinkedIn. Like whenever I go on Twitter, there are two or three people on an everyday basis saying that LinkedIn is bullshit, but it's actually not. It's just that there are some people who are making it, but then that's the case with every platform. So
Right.
yeah, you're very right. The right kind of content can actually can do wonders for you. I started creating content on LinkedIn 1 year, 3 months back when I was
Hmm.
completely broke, and I've done so much with that platform. I think I've made a career out of it and everything. So I think it's actually really nice. It's just that it's a little underrated for now.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah. So give us 2 tips for profile optimization that everybody skips.
I think that the headline needs to be enticing enough for someone to click on your profile and look at what you're really doing.
Mhm.
Most of the people that are in my college, for example, just say student at BITS Pilani. Who cares about that? Talk about something that is interesting. Talk about something that makes you different than the other, you know, lakhs and lakhs of profiles available right next to yours on this platform. So I think that is really important. Optimizing it is really also really important if you want to get in front of people who are looking out for people like you. So if someone searches for, let's say, content writer or video editor, if you do not have that in your headline and if you do not have that into your description in your bio, that can severely affect your SEO score for that LinkedIn profile. So I think that is really important. After that, I think that people are not properly utilizing the keyword section, the skill section. I think they need to be more granular about what they did. Even in their experiences, they say, I did this internship from this time to this time I did it, but no one really goes into depth talking about what did you do and how did that affect that particular organization. Talk about numbers, right? Like, so I can say I worked at Codam, for example, and I scaled their startup from, let's say, X amount of revenue to Y amount of revenue. That is actual data that I'm giving you, right? I'm not just saying I was a valuable employee at XYZ company.
Yeah.
Right? So just things like that, I think that can be really impactful for people who are looking at your profile.
Got it. Quick, rapid fire types questions. I know that you have to leave in
Yeah,
some time. So, is it long form or short form? What works better on LinkedIn?
I think long form is important. Long form is
Got
better.
it. Got it. Featured section or the cover banner? What do you think is more important if somebody just has to do one thing?
I think that this is an interesting question. I would go with the cover banner. That is what people see first of all, right?
Yes.
So
Got it.
that should be important.
Okay. So, cold DM or cold email? What works better?
I think that it depends on who is it that that you're trying to reach out to. If you want to reach out to like someone really big, I think cold email is better, and optimizing that can be better versus cold DM, just because so many people would already be doing that on LinkedIn. So emailing works better, I think, in that sense. But I think that there are ways to get their attention. Just if you just write a simple message saying that, hey, this is why I found your profile interesting, this is what we can do together, or some sort of a collaboration or something. So I think that can be really important.
Okay. 2 pieces of advice for people who are starting with YouTube and 2 pieces of advice for people who are starting on LinkedIn.
YouTube, make a lot of videos and make them about things that you love rather than doing things that everyone else is doing, like vlogging, or let's say anything that makes like the most CPM, for example. So that would be what I would say. For LinkedIn, I think you need to properly understand how the platform works and not just copy paste the same thing on all the platforms. Like, people put this photo on Instagram, the same photo goes on LinkedIn, the same bio, the same description, the same caption. So I think that can be improved. I think they really need to focus on how you can grow your Instagram, your LinkedIn profile by actually commenting on other people's posts. I think that is also a really important growth strategy. So yeah.
Wow, you just hit the right note while we were coming to the end of this. Thank you so much, Ishan, for answering all those crazy questions. They were really important for most of the people in our audience. So, thank you so much for coming here, taking out time, and I wish you all the best in your journey. I can't wait to see your videos going viral and viral in a loop, because that's the kind of content the youth actually needs to, just consume. Thank you so much
Right.
for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me here.